Yo, what's up guys, Manager here, welcome to another video. So this video is going to be talking about playing versus Dshift. Now, I was supposed to do this earlier, but I kind of got tired and I kind of went to sleep, and usually when I go to sleep I'm like out cold for a while. Anyway, so Dshift is, it's one of those like boogeyman decks in which like you really don't want to face it, partially because like there's that sense of like inevitability when you're playing versus it, and it makes it super like unfun to play against, just because you know that if you don't kill them, if you don't go fast enough, and if they see everything that they want to see, that like they're basically it feels like you're in like a 1v0 type game where they're just gonna like set up all three of their ships, they're just gonna triple shift you, and they're just gonna OTK you. Well, I say OTK, but for all intents and purposes, it is an OTK just because it occurs, just because like they take away 3 turns from me and they just like they just kind of go about their business and just kill you. Now, there's a few different ways to play against Dshift, and this video is just gonna be talking about like each of the things that you can do when you're playing versus Dshift. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the corresponding videos I would like to have for this, just because like there are a few different examples that I would like to try to like use over the course of a few different games, but I don't queue versus Dshift that often. So, alright, so the first one that we're going to be talking about is the aggro, aka Smork Clan. Alright, so for this one, it's really important when you play versus Dshift that they take on the role of the aggressor. It does not matter what fucking deck you're playing. You are in fact the aggressor in this matchup. There are going to be things that you'd ordinarily never do, but you physically have to do it when you're playing versus Dshift. Now, for example, the first one is using your creatures that are maybe like good control creatures. Like for example, if you have like an Albert or whatever, you might want to save it for turn 9, but however, when you're versus Dshift, you're using it on turn 5 or turn 6 or whenever turn you see it, and you're going face with that, just because like it's a big creature. Dshift can't really deal with big creatures that well. Or things like say Priestess of Cudgel. Now Priestess of Cudgel, you would like to save it for maybe like using like Evo swings or anything like that, but you're not gonna get that versus Dshift because Dshift doesn't play that many creatures. So for the majority of the time, if you see a creature that you can play, you're gonna want to play it. But going a little bit further into that, you want to avoid playing your 2-drops for as long as possible. What I mean by this is that like if you see that the Dshift player held on to at least one or 2 cards, you know that like if they held on to 2 cards, that they most likely held on to Shift plus kaleidoscopic glow. You really don't want your cards to get glowed. You want to make the Dshift player go out of his way to free up his Kaleido in his hand. Now, that's not to say that you never play 2-drops, because at a certain point you do in fact actually play the 2-drops. Now, when you play the 2-drops is another part of playing versus Dshift. Now, for me, I like to play the 2-drops when I know that I can play out several all at once. The reason why is because like Dshift has issues dealing with flooded boards. The reason why is because like they only have so much removal that they can cast in one turn. Additionally, some lists actually stop running. Some lists actually stop running. What's it called? Some lists actually stop running Fire Embrace. So for most part, they're really just relying on the combination of Kaleidoscopic Glow and Wind Blast to deal with all of your early aggression. But if you just kind of like flood it out all at once, usually something's getting through. This brings me to another point. Never ever play one creature at a time versus Dshift. You want to try to play out multiple all at once when you can, or if you know you can't play out multiple creatures all at once, you want to play out one with a very big butt. What I mean by that is that you want to play out things that have very high HP totals, because Dshift will have trouble clearing them all in one turn. Like for example, a good place to be at versus Dshift is when you have like 7 HP creatures on the board. Now what that does mean is that sometimes if you have like a 5 HP pre-evo creature that you might have to just like pre-evolve the creature if you know you've like seen some Wind Blast and you're trying to like dodge like Levi's and whatnot. But yeah, there's a few other things. Okay, the last like important thing is that like if you know the Dshift player is at 9 cards, the best thing for you to do sometimes is to just like not play anything. If you the reason why that's sometimes okay is because like if you know the Dshift player is a flame destroyer list. The flame destroyer lists carry a lot of removal spells. So what you can do by not playing anything is they can force the Dshift player into a stalemate where they physically have to play something in order to free up their hand. And if they can't play anything, then because they draw so many cards, you can just kind of like wait for them to concede because they're gonna go to fatigue a lot faster than you're gonna go to fatigue. So let me go ahead and show you guys a game. So I do have one game versus Dshift recorded. This game is actually gonna be with Dragon. Now the Dragon versus Dshift deck is actually super difficult for the Dragon player just because like you don't come online as Dragon until right around the time when Dshift can come online as Dshift. So it's a very tenuous situation. So let me just go ahead and show you guys these games. Or this game. Now, granted, I am quote unquote cheating in this matchup because I'm using Storm. However, well, I say Storm, but like I'm only really using three Storm targets. But yeah. All right, so this is also another thing. Versus Rune as a whole, like. I never keep removal versus Rune. The reason why is because like if it's Dshift, you suddenly have a lot of dead cards in your hand. You don't want to have dead cards in your hand versus Dshift. So generally, when you mulligan, you want to mulligan for whatever proactive cards in your deck exist. Just because again, if it is Dshift, which you know is pretty common and unranked and whatnot, that they don't want to start off with a bad start. All right, so I do have a very strong hand. So I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat that. Like the hand I have is the hand that you would like to see as Dragon versus Dshift. Now I would like it even more if I had like if the Scrivener was a pre-nerf Scrivener that could still go face. But when he plays up the Sorcerer Cache, I now know he's Dshift. I should pause here. Okay, so he redrew one card, so I know that most likely he has double shift in his hand, which is fine. I just have to go really fast. I will, however, be greedy with my Oracle because Grimnir no longer gets face. I'm just gonna toss it out as a tempo 3-drop. Now by tossing out this Grimnir here, because Grimnir has 3 HP, because Grimnir is a 3-drop with 3 HP, he's only casted one spell, so I know even if he wants to, he's gonna have difficulty if he wants to Wind Blast this because he has to be able to cast another spell and cast a Wind Blast at the same time. And because of this, I now know that this Grimnir can get me in 2 damage. Now, when you're playing versus Dshift, you want to be able to set up how you're gonna lethal the Dshift like several turns in advance. Just because Dshift runs no healing, so any damage you take is gonna stick. So you need to try to be like kind of cognizant about that. So for me, my game plan right now is to try to find this poly and then also try to find my Oro, so that way I can like 2 or 3 hit KO him. But I have to do that very fast because again, you only post turn 7. You should be afraid that the Dshift player is going to use multiple shifts on you. All right, so he uses Rite of Exorcism. So him using the Rite of Exorcism is actually really good for me because it could have been the ideal play for him would have been a Wind Blast, but he just kind of tosses that out for me, and that's nice because the Rite of Exorcism could actually destroy my poly if I find my poly in time. I do actually draw my Zeus. Now Zeus is actually really good versus Dshift because like he's a lot of HP all at once, and if Dshift is using all their removal spells early, then they need to physically have either a 10 damage Wind Blast, or they need to have a low cost Fire Embrace, or just even a Fire Embrace at all. But the Zeus is so big that like he'll deny them the Dshift turn, which one you're like relying on the turn where I really want to go off. The Zeus is going to be coming down 100%. So just go ahead and forever here. I held the Oracle only because my hand was looking dry, and I wanted to get another draw off of that, just so I can dig a little bit deeper into my deck. You can argue that that's greedy, which it is a little bit, but but versus Dshift, like because I play this matchup so many times, like I actually don't lose that often actually, just because like it just comes down to like understanding what you're supposed to be doing. So here, when he plays with the Merlin, that's fine. I don't care about that because I'm going to 9 mana the turn after next. So I already have an Oro in my hand, so I can just like ping. Okay, so I can just ping his face with the Oro. I do have her draw the Poly, which is nice because now what I can do is I can go Oracle and then Dragonite Fist. The reason why I'm specifically going Dragonite Fist because I want to get this Blazing Breath out of my hand because again, removal versus Dshift is actually just terrible. It doesn't do anything. So again, I'm just gonna go Oracle, see what I get. If I don't get a creature I can play, then I'm just gonna go and Dragonite Fist. Now, if you notice, I haven't actually played. I've only played one creature versus Dshift. So he's had like a lot of removal that's just been like chilling in his hand, and that's fine. That doesn't matter. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna play Poly. That's yet another creature he can't interact with. So Poly in this matchup is actually really good because the creatures come out on my turn, and they get to go face before you can interact with them, which is huge. And I also draw my Dread Sea Queen. So now my game plan is to go Poly, Dread Sea Queen, Zeus, Oro, ping his face, hit him in the face, he dies. Because that's way too much for him to deal with in the same turn, unless he has like triple shift in his hand. But look at my opponent; he hasn't actually spell boosted that much. He's only spell boosted 3 times. Or sorry, he's only at max spell boosted his Dshift 5 times, and everything else in his hand 3 times. So here he goes out with Merlin plus Levi. Now this was actually really annoying for me because now this does force me to deviate my plan. Versus Dshift, you want to try to take as little damage as possible because you really want to make them work for the double shift. Because if you take any prior damage, that means that they can sometimes kill you with just 1 shift. So that's what I'm choosing as a clear here over say developing my Poly because I know that I'm not gonna be able to kill for that much. So here he just draws cards. He did that in a weird order. I would have just played the Missile first, but to each his own. So here I'm just gonna play that on the Poly. Now I played it on the Poly here because if I don't play the Poly here, I'm never gonna play up this Poly because I know for a fact that my next turn is gonna be Dread Sea Queen or Zeus. 100%. That's 100% gonna be my play. The reason why is because I put out so many stats all at once that he has to have very, very strong hard removal for, because I'm putting out, how much is that? I'm putting out 20, 21, sorry, I'm putting out 25, 26 worth of stats next turn. Like, that all demand hard removal. And it's very, very unlikely that he has like triple Wind Blast for all of this. Now, ideally, his best card to have here would be a second Rite of Exorcism, but I'm not expecting him to have that because he threw away the first one so easily. So I'm expecting his hand to be like Kaleidoscopes and like Wind Blast and whatnot, and of course the Dshift that we know was in his hand from the Mulligan. So right here, my opponent needs to go off. However, he hasn't boosted that much. Yeah, he hasn't boosted that much. However, he does play a second Sorcerer Cache, so I do need to be kind of afraid this turn. Because next turn is most likely when he wants to shift me. However, again, I'm playing out the Dread Sea Queen, and I'm just going for game right now. I am going to ping off the Merlin just because I can't actually kill him this turn, but I can do a lot of damage to his face. And by doing this, I effectively set up 2-turn lethal. The reason why is because he's going to be dropping down to 8 when the Zeus hits him in the face. Additionally, if he clears off my board but cannot clear either the Poly or the Oro permanently, then he's literally dead on board. The reason why is because next turn I'll get a Wind Blast Dragon. If Oro is in my hand, I can just drop the Oro, ping him in the face for 3 damage, he dies. So right here, he physically needs to have the shift or he dies. However, again, we know for a fact he hasn't actually spell boosted that much, and most likely if he does have a shift, he can only use 1 shift, but the 1 shift isn't going to be enough. He has to have all 3 shifts in the hand in order to be able to get through all of this and kill me. But yeah, like that game honestly just came down to me seeing the optimal early hand that I would like to get. Additionally, just making sure that like to hold off on playing creatures until I knew that I could play like multiple creatures all at once, just because like I was gonna overload his removal, because Dshift wants to answer each of your creatures one at a time, so that way that they can slowly like build up their hand, and so that way they can also like refill with stuff like say Fate's Hand and whatnot, just because you're going slow. However, if you flood out all at once, then it's a lot harder for the Dshift player in order to be able to deal with what you're doing. Now, sometimes they can do that, but it requires them to have like a perfect hand, which is fine, because obviously sometimes it happens. Like sometimes your opponent gets a perfect hand, sometimes you get a perfect hand, perfectly fine. But yeah, the other important thing versus Dshift, which I know that like isn't really talked about that much, is that like never ever concede when you see the first shift come down. You only concede when you see them either have lethal, or when you see them set up maybe like a double shift or whatever. The reason why is because like sometimes people will do what is known as a panic shift, and by that what I mean is that they'll shift in the attempt to just clear your board, or conversely to bluff because they're under like a lot of pressure, and they know that there's a chance that people might get scared and might just early concede. But you never ever concede until you see them have lethal on board with a second or third shift in hand. Just because again they can bluff, and if you concede before you see everything, you might just given away a free win that you actually earned, and that would feel bad. So yeah, so this is just, you know, my tips and tricks on dealing versus Dshift. I know it wasn't as long as I would like it to have been, just because I don't actually play versus Dshift that much, and I don't actually have like the corresponding games like saved on my phone in order to be like, oh hey, well here's another example game. But that game was a pretty good game to use as a starting point. As I get more and more games, I will go ahead and record these versus Dshift, just because like I do feel that Dshift is a matchup that people kind of like don't play well into, just because like it's the whole, well, it's Dshift, and there's all that like psychological damage from the whole, oh well, you know, your opponent's gonna like triple shift you or something like that, and you're just gonna feel bad. So yeah, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Dshift down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.